Hello everyone, Lawrence Fleming again. If you can see the woods behind me, you can see what it looks like after a long day of rain yesterday. There's no rain scheduled for today. In fact, I'm getting ready to go to work. But it's still a beautiful day. The sun's not going to get above these clouds and fog for a little while. But I wanted to talk about my next couple of videos. It's going to take probably 2, maybe 3 videos to cover the topic. So this is just an introduction. Remember when I said, don't worry about when you're prepping a bomb shelter? Well, maybe you need to consider it a little bit. When I grew up in the 60s in Southern California, it was the peak of the Cold War. We had nuclear threats in Cuba and the missile crisis, and all these movies were coming about the end of the world. I know the Twilight Zone had a couple of really cool episodes that had to do with this. One about a guy who had a bomb shelter built into his house and how his neighbors came in and tore the door down and about ready to kill the guy just to get his own family in the shelter because they weren't prepared. We also have movies like Dr. Strangelove with Peter Sellers, where Slim Pickens, the old cowboy, rides the bomb down to earth. Some fun, some humor in these because the topic itself was not humorous. When Jesus told us about wars and rumors of wars, he basically said, I'm telling you these things so you won't be afraid. If they do pop up, they're not going to bother us. Chances are we're going to be raptured out of here. So my reason for having maybe extra prepping and maybe even a shelter someplace is that if you have family members who are not saved, friends and neighbors, you could set up a place for them. And that way, if there is a problem, you tell them your place is open. If you're gone, if you're missing, if there's a bunch of people missing, they're welcome to your stores and tell them where they're at. So they don't have to come and bust the door down. They can come in and open it. Maybe you have a neighbor that watches your animals when you're traveling. Tell them about it. Tell them about Christ, of course. And if you're going to put food out, leave tracks in the food. Set them on top of the boxes so they have to move them. Remind them. Like I said, I grew up in Southern California, and there were kind of like car lots, but they had metal containers that were like bomb shelters. You'd buy one, like a septic tank, you go dig a hole, put it in it, and then go in and put all your stores in it, and you had a place to run to. You remember the time machine, when he goes forward in time and the bombs start going off, and get below until you hear the all clear. Well, those are the times that we were in. We were told in school, if we hear the alarm, get under our desk. I did this up through junior high, I think, in which case our Nevada history teacher, when we were doing a practice, he basically said, don't bother to get under your desk. If this is a direct hit, you're dead anyway. And that might be the best place to be. A direct hit and you're done, and you're with the Lord. But what we're looking at coming up now, we don't know. There may never be one. But we're told of a possible asteroid hit. It can have the same effect. So again, Jesus warned us about these things so that we wouldn't be afraid. He knows about them. So therefore, he's taken provisions already for us. But for those left behind, like Left Behind LaHaye, anyhow, I'm going to cover the basic steps of what you can do if there's a nuclear blast near you. And if there's an asteroid hit near you. Obviously, if it hits in the water, you've got tsunamis. And those are dangerous. So we have tsunami warnings. If there's a nuclear blast, it depends on where it's at and where we're going to go. I'm not going to give you the numbers and say that if you're 5 miles out, that's the blast zone. Maybe it's 10 miles out. We don't know what size of bomb might be used. There's close to 100 suitcase bombs that are missing from the old USSR. Now, maybe Putin and his KGB got in there and confiscated them all. We don't know. But we do know that they have more bombs than we do. We used to be at a parity. MAD, Mutual Something Destruction, I forget the acronym. This was back in the 60s. I was a little bit younger then. But in any case, we want you to think about this. If nothing happens, God bless. But if something does happen, you want to leave your friends and potentially relatives something to get by with. Food stores, certainly. In my next video, I'm going to cover the things you should know about what happens, about how to be safe. The first 7 things that you should do immediately, depending on how close you are. I used to live in Southern California, and I worked for an aerospace firm. We worked on a communication satellite, but nevertheless, it would still probably be a target. We had a number of bunkers, big rooms with big double thick doors sort of like NORAD, if you remember the movie War Games with Roderick, can't remember his last name. Any case, Ali was in it, Ali Sheedy. Okay, getting old, trying to remember these names. And that computer he had, that MSI computer, I had one of those. That's when I got started on computers. That's how long I've been doing technology. But I've been teaching also. I just have never been one to go through the formality of getting any kind of a piece of paper. In any case, I want you to watch these videos. You can take notes. I'm recording these pretty much on my phone as I'm walking about. I'm trying to get as much of my outdoor time in as possible. So these are just recorded on my phone. The quality is more than enough for YouTube. I was doing a TV series. Maybe, maybe not. It depends on the vintage of the phone. This one's fairly new. And I can shoot 4K with this if I want. The problem comes with it on my phone. The editor is not something that I like to work in. It's too small, too hard to work with. So I need to put it on my computer. Oh, and I don't think I mentioned that the power supply in my computer died. I have a replacement on order, but I'm down for a little while. So that's one of the reasons that I'm enjoying making these outdoor videos, because that's what I want to do anyway. I hope you saw my little campfire video. I did a whole film on this, but the quality was when I was first getting started. There's one thing going on set like I'm going to do today, and I've got a director telling me what to do and how to do it, and I've got people watching monitors all over the place, one for each camera, so they get a live picture, and somebody's looking at it to see which ones looks good and which ones don't. They keep shooting until they get at least 2 good videos, good takes. But when you're recording yourself, you've got to think of everything. And that's why I said it would be nice if I had a producer or director go with me. But not too many people want to get up early in the morning, and especially after a long rainy day yesterday. We were supposed to film yesterday, but they saw the storm and they were smart enough to cancel because it's outside. That's all I can say. I can't really tell you what I'm working on. Pretty much anything I do, I've got a non-disclosure on. But I've been on quite a number of shows that you may have seen over the ages. Last year I did 3/4 of the season of Dynasty, the new one, the reboot, based in Atlanta. It's a rich person soap opera. And I've been on The Walking Dead, and we just had an accident. I haven't heard all the details, but Norman Reedus got hurt. I think he had a concussion, so I'm not sure what happened there. He shot me in season 8, so that was my last season to work it. I wish I could have gone back, but there's plenty of other things to do. I've played a doctor on Dynasty, I've played a doctor on The Resident, cops all over the place, played firemen. So that's why I know a lot of the superheroes are really superheroes here on earth. Police, firemen, doctors. So be kind to them. They're put through a lot to get to where they're at, and they risk their lives almost daily. So anyhow, I'm going to go finish up and get off to work. I got a call time just before lunch. I probably won't get lunch when I first get there. So I've already eaten. Depending on what time your call times are, you get at least 2 meals a day and plenty of snacks in between. And it's a lot of fun. I think I said this before. When you're kids, you put on your cowboy outfit and your plastic pop guns and you run around doing what you saw on TV. When I grew up, Westerns were the big thing. The Rifleman, Lone Ranger. These people are long gone by now, many of them, and we're losing more. It's sad to see everybody disappear because you don't know where their heart is. So don't take that chance with people. We can go anytime. Now, we'll be with the Lord. That'd be great. A lot of questions will be answered. But are we asleep while we wait out this time, or are we aware? Some of the questions we're going to be given the answers to when we get to see Him. But if we live long enough, our current generation is going to see the return of Christ. Now, I'm born a few years after, but not too far after the establishment of Israel. We are going to get to see Him one way or the other for a Christian. And at the end, if you still don't accept Him after all that goes on this planet, it says that the earth is going to be shook. That almost sounds like our asteroid hit. It's going to hit the oceans and poison the oceans and the rivers and burn the forests. That again sounds like an asteroid hit. But there could be some kind of a nuclear war as well. Now we should be out of here. But think of your friends and relatives. Give them something to hold on while they're still thinking about it. Jesus said the days will be shortened. Otherwise, no one would survive. That's how bad it's going to be. And we're told all these things so that those that are sitting on the fence can make up their mind. Why would anybody turn down this? Well, because they don't have the Spirit in them yet, and the world has an allure to it that people are attracted to. Big rig coming down this little street. Gonna do some building back there, I guess. Don't destroy this beautiful nature too much. Okay. Watch for my next video where I'm going to tell you the things to do, especially if you're near the blast zone. I don't think we're going to see it, but again, if you've got unsaved friends and relatives, they need to know about it. And now, since you're planning for them as well, think about how much food you need to prep for. Inflation is going to be driving all the prices up. Gasoline is high. And despite what their administration says, there's no reason for it. It's not tied to Ukraine. If at best we get 20% of our fuel from Russia, at best. And we have, as we found in the previous administration, all the fuel we need in this country alone to be totally independent. The fact that we're not is a deliberate choice by a manipulative government. It's the puppeteers that we need to be mad at. Biden's too old and senile now to be really responsible. It's not his decisions. He toes the line, and that's why he's there. Keep your eye on God. That's your salvation. We will be raptured. Many think soon. Many think definitely this year. Last year they were thinking it too, but we missed. And they're not picking the exact date and saying it has to be on this date. This is what the Bible says. They're not saying that. What they're saying is God does things on a timely manner. A lot of things happened on Passover throughout history, and it was deliberate. There's all these feast times coming up. We just passed Purim. We got the New Year coming up on April 1st, and all the Jewish holidays are coming up. The 70th day is entirely a Jewish event. The air is thick out here in this fog. So be ready and do a little bit at a time. You don't have to go out and spend $50,000 on food. Just spend an extra $20, $30 every time you go to the market. We have some time, but not a lot. And like I said before, yes, you can buy green bananas. This long-term food that you can see and they sell online, I don't think you're going to need it, but if you get it for your friends and family, tell them it's not always the best tasting, but it is food. Because I bought those, and I have some that I bought a long time ago. They're good for 50 years, and I've had them for 10 or 15. And I decided to open one up. Nothing to write home about. But again, it is food. If you really want good food, I get mountain something camping food. And I would actually eat that every day of the week, but it's a little pricey. It's more expensive than your survival packets that you can get. If you've got access to the modern MREs, meals ready to eat from the military, those are not bad too. Early on they were bad, especially the war surplus ones from World War II. But again, if you're hungry, you eat anything. We've heard in the past where poor people eat dog and cat food. Dog food maybe, cat food's too fishy. But you don't want to have to do that if you don't have to. And I'm going to tell you all the things that you need to do when you get to your house after a nuclear attack. There's some things you need to do, and they're almost immediate. A little quick teaser on that. You've got a lot of water stored in your house, but it's going to go away if you don't protect it. And you've got a little bit of time before the radiation gets into the groundwater and gets into the pipes. So that's one of the things we're going to talk about. I'm not trying to scare you, but I am trying to scare your non-Christian friends and family. It's going to hit big. God's wrath is going to almost destroy everything. Take the quick way out. The bus. Oh, I was in that movie with Chris. What's his name? Doing these off-the-cuff videos. I kind of trying to remember everybody's names. Hensworth? Anyway, Future War, where you're catapulted up into this transporter, and then it sends you into the future, and you go fight these creatures before they come back in time to kill you. That's the gist of the movie. They had a scene where they had the front row were cabled up, and they raised them up, and we'd watch them go up in the air. And then the rest of us lined up behind them. We're all there with our guns ready to go into battle. And we kind of do one of these, lift myself up and then stop. So that was fun, and I called that the Rapture scene. I don't know how we're going to do this. What's the Rapture going to be like? I don't know. None of us have ever done it. Is it going to be a Disneyland e-ticket if you're old enough to remember when they had those? I don't think it would be terribly frightening. But I think we're going to have our new bodies. If we're inside, how are you going to go through the ceiling? Or multiple stories above you. We're going to have the new body so we can travel through walls like Jesus did when he came back after his resurrection. I'm excited. Don't be afraid. No matter what's coming, it's not meant for us. Keep watching the skies. And although I can't see the clouds right now because of the fog, I know they're up there somewhere. Jesus will take care of us. Take care of you. So pay attention, watch for my next video. Thank everybody for your comments, even those that are less than good. I'll say that. Some people have to talk 4 pages in a comment. My only comment to them is, thank you for the information. Most of it I know. But if you've got that much to say, go create your own channel and just keep doing it. That's what I did. Until we meet in the skies. God bless.